app para sa iba't ibang transaksyon.
Ay, pinakita ko pala yung, di ba sabi ko, revenue generated plan. Yung pinakit ko kay Melda, binigay naman niya kay Miriam kasi si Miriam pa ang nag-aano niya. Tapos binabasa, sabi niya, okay daw yan.
Paano i-access ang Digital National ID sa eGov app? Hindi mo na kailangang hintayin ang physical card o magpaprint ng national ID in paper format. Sa isang tap lang, ready na ang Digital National ID mo. Pwedeng-pwede na rin magamit offline kung kinakailangan. Una, i-download at buksan ang eGov app. Mag-sign up at ilagay ang iyong pangalan at email address. Hintayin at ilagay ang OTPs na marireceive sa iyong email at phone number. Mag-set ng 6-digit passcode para i-secure ang iyong account. Pindutin ang Verify Now at iscan ang QR code ng iyong national ID card or paper format. Kung wala nito, pwede rin gamitin ang iyong personal information. Kung gusto mong lagyan ng e-signature ang iyong digital national ID, sundin lang ang prompt o pindutin ang skip button para magpatuloy. Kumuha ng live selfie gamit ang iyong phone para sa face authentication process. Pagkatapos ng verification step, i-click lang ang mobile ID button para ma-access ang iyong digital national ID. Congrats! May digital national ID ka na! Tara at gamitin ang digital national ID sa eGov app para sa iba't ibang transaksyon. Paano i-access ang Digital National ID sa eGov app? Hindi mo na kailangang hintayin ang physical card o magpaprint ng national ID in paper format. Sa isang tap lang, ready na ang Digital National ID mo. Pwedeng-pwede na rin magamit offline kung kinakailangan. Una, i-download at buksan ang eGov app. Mag-sign up at ilagay ang iyong pangalan at email address. Hintayin at ilagay ang OTPs na marireceive sa iyong email at phone number.
Father, we come to you today to praise and worship you and give you thanks for all the things you continue to provide for ourselves and our families. Father, we humbly ask for forgiveness for all the times you have offended you. Continue to guide and protect us, Lord. Bestow upon us your unending grace and healing, that we may in turn become instruments of gentleness and compassion to others. We ask all this in the name of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, with prayer and intercession of our Blessed Mother. Amen.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اللهم اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. اللهم وحد صفوفنا بين المسلمين والنصارى والأماد إلى صراطك المستقيم. اللهم امنحهم العيش بالأمن والسلامة والتنمية المستدامة في مدينة دافاو. اللهم لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Amoynen manama kami gimot to lang, manotod kakaroson mo. Si Koyko kami dokul to lang, way migtumpi to tan. Panubado ay pag-ampo, kaupianan ng boy no, way kakoyko ni mo no, way kahalaan to lang.
Bayang magiliw, pilas ng silanganan, alab ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisingil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong bughaw, may nilagang tula at awit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningning. Ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang ay di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng buwan ating pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Aming ligaya ng pagmay mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Okay, please be seated. Our event this morning will not be possible without the presence of our PSA officials, distinguished guests, and participants. So as I call on your name, kindly stand up for you to be recognized. Starting with the Deputy National Statistician of the Sectoral Statistics Office of the Philippine Statistics Authority, Assistant Secretary Divina Gracia L. Del Prado. Good morning, ma'am. Assistant National Statistician of the Economic Sector Statistics Service, Assistant National Statistician Rachel C. Laksa. Good morning. Regional Director of PSA NCR, RD Pasiano Dizon. Good morning, RD. Chief Statistical Specialist of the Industry Statistics Division, Mr. John Paul Sacco. Good morning, sir. Housing and Homesite Regulation Officer 4 of the Environmental Land Use and Urban Planning and Development Division of the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, Engineer Christian Angelo G. Manuel. Good morning, sir. Chief Statistical Specialist of NCR 1, Ms. Amelia Basilio. Good morning, ma'am. Chief Statistical Specialist of NCR 2, Ms. Helen L. Adulacion. Chief Statistical Specialist of NCR 3, Mr. Narciso Dino. Good morning, sir. Chief Statistical Specialist of NCR 4, Ms. Cynthia Laksina.
Chief Statistical Specialist of NCR 5, Ms. Marisol Caragan. Also, we would like to acknowledge the presence of our participants from the City of Manila. Good morning, sir. Also, our participants from the City of Parañaque. Good morning. How about from Muntinlupa City? Good morning po. From Quezon City. Good morning, ma'am. From Malabon. Good morning. Pateros. Good morning. Pasig City. Good morning po. San Juan. Good morning. Our participants from Caloocan. Good morning. From Mandaluyong. We also have from Pasay. Good morning. From Las Piñas. Good morning. Also from the city of Makati. Good morning po. From Marikina. Good morning. Also our colleagues from the PSA National Capital Region. Could you please stand up? Yun, good morning po. And also from Central Office. Okay. So to officially welcome us this morning, let's all welcome the Deputy National Statistician of the Sectoral Statistics Office of the Philippine Statistics Authority, Assistant Secretary de Vinagracia L. Del Prado. A round of applause, please.
Thank you, Jordan. To our keynote speaker, Engineer Christian and Angelo G. Manuel, Housing and Homesite Regulation Office 4 of the Environmental Land Use and Urban Planning and Development Division, ang haba, no? Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, or DSUD. To Assistant National Statistician Rachel Laksa of the Economic Sector Statistics Service of PSA, Regional Director Nagtatago, Pasiana V. Dizon of the Regional Statistical Services Office, National Capital Region of PSA. To our discussants, Attorney Jan Alexander Esbeldero, pero hindi pa siya, wala pa siya, no? He was actually our keynote speaker last year. We also have Architect Mary Rolin Ara Torrecampo Angeles, ma'am, the Executive Director for Commission on Governmental and External Affairs of the United Architects of the Philippines. Our presenters, Chief Statistical Specialist John Paul Sakop of the Industry Statistics Division of PSA Central Office, and Chief Statistical Specialist, hindi ko pa siya nakita, Jing Rocabo. Okay, of the Statistical Operations and Coordination Division of PSA NCR. Our representatives from the local government units in Metro Manila, my colleagues from the Philippine Statistics Authority, both from PSA Central Office and NCR. We have here the Chief Statistical Specialist of PSA NCR. To everyone, pleasant morning to all of you. So it is an honor and privilege to welcome you all to this 2025 Data Dissemination Forum on Construction Statistics. First, allow me to express our deep appreciation to our esteemed resource persons, of course, our keynote speaker, Engineer Christian Angelo Manuel, and our discussants, Architect Mary Rolin Ara, I don't know if this is the full name of ma'am, and Attorney John Alexander, who will be joining us later. I think late lang siya. So we are grateful for your presence and for sharing your expertise with us today. So this forum builds on the momentum we began in 2024 when the PSA held its first National Data Dissemination Forum on Construction Statistics. So this is now the second. Today, we gather once again to underscore the significance of the data collected from our partners in the Office of the Local Building Officials, in the local government units. Actually, nakakalito, no? Kasi the LBOs are situated in the LGU and LGUs, pero they are under DPWS. Sama po ba ako? Okay. So today we again gathered for us to to present our statistics on construction. So the construction industry remains as one of the key drivers of economic growth and infrastructure development, as well as source of livelihood in the country. So based on our data from the second quarter of 2025, the construction industry contributed 8.6% to the gross domestic product, or GDP, at constant prices. So this is the measure of the economy of the country. Ranking fourth among all industries. So mataas-taas yung contribution ni construction kasi fourth siya, no? In terms naman of employment, approximately 5.3 million Filipinos, or 10.5% of the total employed population, work in construction, making it the third industry with the highest number of workers. Pero ito ay as of August 2025. With the significant role of this industry to national development, it is essential to have timely, reliable, and relevant data from approved building permits. So we rely heavily from the documents submitted to us by our partners from the Office of the Local Building Officials. Given the construction industry's vital contribution to the nation's progress, having dependable data to monitor its performance is essential. And one of these data are construction statistics from approved building permits. Through the timely submission of approved building permits, and also we are dreaming to have digital copies of this already para mas mabilis na lang yung pag-release natin ng construction statistics from approved building permits. We don't need to encode them because as of now, we still have, we put additional days for the encoding of the information from the administrative records collected. So through the timely submission of approved building permits and certificate of completion, the PSA is able to produce reliable data that inform programs and policies for the continued growth of the construction industry. So at this point, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our partners from the Office of the Local Building Officials, of course in the local government units, for providing us the approved building permits and certificate of completion as sources of construction data. I would like just to emphasize yung importance of the certificate of completion because we really need the data on the realized approved building permits. So there was also a signing of the joint memorandum circular on the guidelines in the collection of unified application form for building permits and certificate of completion last year, and this strengthen our collaboration and ensures timely and complete data collection. In today's forum, we will present data generated from the compilation of construction statistics from approved building permits from January 2024 to July 2025 at the national level and in the national capital region. Wala tayong annual, ano? We have also annual data. So just inside this hall, I don't know if we have the exhibit. We were not able to have the exhibit na. Ito, this one. So just inside this hall, you may have visited. I don't know if you're aware that there is a data exhibit here showcasing construction statistics at the city municipality level. So if you have time later on, you can scroll yung ating mga data dyan sa screen na inilagay ng ating technical staff. So we hope this statistics, so we have rich data from the approved building permits because we have up to city municipality level, which can be used for planning and planning purposes for policies and programs. So we hope these statistics empower you to make evidence-based policies and program for local governance. So today's forum is likewise an opportunity to recognize our top supporting LGUs in terms of building collection of approved building permits through the awarding of plaque of recognition to these top supporting LGUs. So as we begin, I encourage everyone to view this forum as an avenue for collaboration and exchange of insights. So later on, we will listen to our keynote speaker, to our discussants, and a Q&A for you to ask questions or to share your insights. So once again, thank you for being part of this event. May this be another meaningful and productive gathering for all of us. So magandang umaga muli sa inyong lahat.
Okay, thank you very much, Asa Grace. And before we proceed to the next part of our program, we would like to acknowledge the presence of architect Mary Rolene Ara Torrecampo Angeles, the Executive Director of the Commission on Governmental and External Affairs of the United Architects of the Philippines. Good morning, ma'am. And also, we would like to acknowledge the presence of our participants from the city of Taguig. Good morning po. Ay, sir, good morning. Okay, at this moment, let us watch or listen to the recorded message from the National Statistician and Civil Registrar General of the Philippine Statistics Authority under Secretary Claire Dennis S. Mapa.
Distinguished guests, our valued partners from the Office of the Building Official in the local government unit, friends from partner agencies, and fellow public servants, ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. It is with great pride and deep gratitude that I welcome you to this Data Dissemination Forum on Construction Statistics. Today is more than just a presentation of figures and reports. It is a reaffirmation of our collective duty to produce statistics that matter, statistics that empower, and statistics that shape a better future for every Filipino. The construction statistics that we will present today, derived from approved building permits, tell the story of progress in our communities. Every permit represents more than a building. It signifies livelihood, opportunity, and the promise of more resilient communities. When compiled and analyzed, these records provide crucial insights into how the construction sector drives economic growth and supports national development. As shown in our second quarter of 2025 report, the construction industry share to the gross domestic product is 8.6% at constant prices. Additionally, the August 2025 Labor Force Survey showed that approximately 5.3 million Filipinos, or 10.5% of total employed population, work in construction, making it the third largest employer across all industries. This contribution aligns directly with the Philippine Development Plan 2023-2028 under Chapter 6, Revitalize Industry, which identifies the gross value added growth of construction as a key performance indicator. The Philippine Development Plan underscores construction's central role in industrial revitalization and national competitiveness. Reliable construction statistics, therefore, provide government, business, and local communities with the evidence needed to plan, invest, and act strategically. At the heart of this effort are our partners from the local government units and local building officials. Without your active cooperation and timely submission of approved building permits, we would not be able to produce statistics that feed into the Philippine Development Plan and guide evidence-based policymaking across all levels of governance. Your role is critical, and we in the Philippine Statistics Authority are deeply thankful for your consistent support and dedication. As we begin this forum, I encourage everyone to actively engage, ask questions, and share insights. Every perspective you contribute strengthens the relevance of our statistics and ensure that what we produce truly reflects the realities on the ground. Together, let us make this forum a platform for collaboration, for innovation, and for reaffirming our shared mission to deliver statistics that improve lives. May today's discussions inspire us to continue building a future where data leads to better policies, better projects, and ultimately, a better Philippines. Maraming salamat at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Okay, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. And also, we would like to acknowledge the presence of our participants from the city of Valenzuela. Good morning. And now, to introduce our keynote speaker, let's all welcome Assistant National Statistician of the Economic Sector Statistics Service, ANS Rachel C. Laksa. A round of applause, please.
To Assistant Secretary Divina Gracia del Prado, Regional Director Pasiano Dizon, our distinguished guests from the national and local government, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my distinct honor to introduce our keynote speaker today, a highly accomplished and licensed civil engineer, passing the civil engineer licensure examination with an outstanding rating. Our speaker has demonstrated a strong commitment to excellence in the field of civil engineering, as he is currently holding the position Housing and Home Site Regulation Officer 4 at the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, or DSUD, specifically within the Environmental Land Use and Urban Planning Development Division in the National Capital Region. His role involves critical review, evaluation, and approval of development permits and plans for condominium projects, ensuring compliance with housing laws and regulations. Previously, he held key positions in DSUD and the Housing and Land Use Regulatory Board, which meant and conducting site inspections to uphold the highest standard in housing projects. Beyond his regulatory work, our speaker is deeply invested in education and mentorship. Since 2015, he had contributed as an academic tutor and lecturer, specializing in mathematics and physics. Our speaker graduated with a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering from the University of the Philippines, Diliman in 2017. His undergraduate thesis on construction quality, monitoring in government projects highlighted innovative insights into quality management practices within the Philippine construction industry. He is currently enrolled in the Master of Arts in Urban and Regional Planning program at the University of the Philippines, School of Urban and Regional Planning. In addition to their professional and academic accomplishments, he have been active in campus organizations such as UP Aggregates Incorporated and served as Technical Director and Finance and Marketing Director of DZUP Radio Circle. To represent the DSUD Regional Director for NCR, Attorney Lyndon D. Hontilla, please join me in warmly welcoming a dedicated engineer, regulator, educator, and scholar who continues to shape the future of urban development and civil engineering, Engineer Christian Angelo G. Manuel.
And thank you po for that very generous introduction. To all our esteemed guests this morning, Assistant Secretary Divina Gracia L. Del Prado, to Regional Director Pasiano P. Dizon, to Assistant National Statistician Rachel Laksa, to all our dedicated partners from the Philippine Statistics Authority, the National Building Code Development Office, and the United Architects of the Philippines, and most importantly, to our local building officials and local government unit partners from across the National Capital Region. In behalf of our Secretary, the Secretary of the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, Secretary Jose Ramon P. Aliling, and our Regional Director for DSUD NCR, Attorney Lyndon D. Hontilla, please allow me to extend a very warm welcome and a pleasant morning to all of you. It is a true honor to stand before this esteemed gathering, the National Data Dissemination Forum. Today, we received the latest insights on construction statistics from approved building permits. These data are not just a set of figures. We are here this morning not just to listen to numbers, but to celebrate the narratives those numbers tell and use them to map our strategic future. As a nation striving for Ambition Natin 2040, a prosperous inclusive, and resilient Philippines, we must continue to elevate our approach. We must always embrace evidence-based policymaking. I hope all of us gathered here at this forum agree that sound policy is impossible without solid evidence. And this data, these administrative records, the daily business of local governance, we can use them and translate them into powerful, actionable intelligence for local, regional, and national planning. These statistics that will be presented this morning offers a glimpse of construction activity in Metro Manila. For us in the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, we are looking forward to see the continuing dynamic interplay between residential and non-residential development. When I checked the PSA website, from the construction statistics for May, June, and the latest, July 2025, residential projects dominate the number of constructions, or meaning residential projects have the highest number of constructions from the said months. However, the value of non-residential buildings driven by commercial complex, factories, institutional facilities, these non-residential buildings often account for a significant share of total capital expenditure. For this data, we in the department are interested in the possible spatial trends. Are these constructions, are these investments concentrated in major hubs? Are they within the identified central business districts or growth centers? Or is it decentralizing? Are these bringing development to emerging regional centers? These spatial trends have immense implications for our local and regional development strategies. This data will also serve as great inputs in our LGU's comprehensive land use plan and zoning ordinance. In addition, the continuing dominance of residential buildings from the past monthly statistics underscores the unceasing demand for housing. The statistics on floor area and average cost per square meter are essential for us policymakers to gauge housing affordability and for developers to tailor their projects to the actual needs of the population. This data will also be of great use in our LGU's local shelter plan, or the LSP. The LSP, the roadmap for providing and addressing shelter needs. Lastly, the statistics derived from approved building permits do not only track economic activity. They are also fundamental to ensuring public safety and climate resilience. The adherence to the National Building Code, verified through the permit process, ensures that our structures are safe and durable. The data collected on the type, area, and even the date of construction, these are inputs in the CIDRA, the Climate and Disaster Risk Assessment. CIDRA is a methodology developed by our department that helps LGUs create targeted strategies for disaster risk reduction and climate adaptation, and policy to build resilience. Moving on, we should all note that the richness and timeliness of these construction statistics rely entirely on the diligence and commitment of our partners at the local level. To the local building officials and your teams in the LGUs, we extend our deepest gratitude. You are the front line of this statistical undertaking. By ensuring the timely and accurate submission of approved building permits, you are contributing beyond your mandate. You are providing the hard data that enables our national government to make informed policy decisions, to allocate resources efficiently, and ultimately build better infrastructure for your communities. Your work transforms a regulatory document into a national asset. As we delve into the details of this latest statistical release, I urge all stakeholders to move beyond passive consumption of these numbers. These construction statistics from approved building permits, these can be part of our blueprints for our future, and they can help chart the course of our nation's physical development. Let us commit ourselves to not only appreciate the data presented today, but to fully utilize it, to construct a future for the Philippines that is more robust, more resilient, and built on the solid foundation of evidence-based decision-making. Thank you, and may this forum be a fruitful step forward in our shared goal of national progress.
Thank you very much, Engineer Christian Angelo G. Manuel, for that very insightful and inspiring message. And to award the plaque of recognition to our keynote speaker, may we request Assistant Secretary Divina Gracia del Prado, AS Rachel Laksa, and Regional Director Pasiano Dizon to award the plaque of recognition and token of appreciation. May we request our keynote speaker, Engineer Christian Angelo G. Manuel. Ladies and gentlemen, again, a round of applause to our keynote speaker, Engineer Christian Angelo Manuel. At this moment, we invite you to learn more about the construction statistics from approved building permits through an audiovisual presentation. This will give us valuable insights, backgrounds, and significance. Let's all watch this.
The Philippine Statistics Authority, or PSA, serves as the central statistical authority of the government responsible for collecting, compiling, analyzing, and disseminating official statistics, including the construction statistics from approved building permits. Construction statistics from approved building permits is one of the data generated by PSA based on administrative records. It is compiled based on the information from the approved building permits issued by the local building officials, or LBOs, of the local government units. The collection of construction data through approved building permits officially began in 1977. It was initiated after an informal agreement between the then National Census and Statistics Office, or NCSO, now part of the Philippine Statistics Authority, and the then Ministry of Local Government and Community Development, now the Department of Interior and Local Government, which took place in 1976. The informal arrangements were formalized on July 11, 1979, through a Memorandum of Agreement between the NCSO and the then Ministry of Public Works, Transportation and Communication, or MPWTC, now the Department of Public Works and Highways. This agreement outlined the responsibilities of both agencies, with the then NCSO tasked with the collection, processing, analysis, and dissemination of construction statistics. Meanwhile, the printing of building permit forms became the responsibility of the then MPWTC. In 1991, the implementation of the Local Government Code, or RA number 7160, significantly impacted the collection of building permit data. The code devolved broader powers and responsibilities from the national government to the local government units, or LGUs. A key turning point came in 1993, with the issuance of Joint Memorandum Circular by DILG and DPWH. Municipal and city engineers were tasked with overseeing the National Building Code's implementation and generating construction statistics from approved building permits in their areas. In 2005, the DPWH's National Building Code Development Office or NBCDO issued a circular requiring all LBOs to implement the revised IRR of the National Building Code, introducing a new building permit form for LGUs to adopt. In 2009, legal challenges to the revised IRR led the DPWH to instruct LBOs to return to using the old building permit forms, which remain in coordination with the PSA for data collection.
In 2024, the DPWH, DILG, and PSA signed the joint memorandum circular.
The primary objective of compiling construction statistics from approved building permits is to provide timely data on building activities at the city and municipality levels, including the number, type, floor area, value, and average cost of construction. It helps monitor construction trends, supports economic analysis, and guides both local and national policy decisions. The data is used for analyzing present economic conditions and past developments. It helps track the growth of residential and non-residential constructions, providing a snapshot of regional development and
construction activities.
Second, it aids in forecasting future trends of construction. By examining current building activities, experts can predict where future construction and investments will occur, ensuring resources are allocated efficiently. Lastly, construction statistics provide important information that helps government make informed decisions. Policymakers rely on this data to guide urban planning, infrastructure projects, and zoning laws, promoting sustainable growth. The construction statistics from approved building permits are mainly used by government agencies, including the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas,
the Department of Economy, Planning, and Development. These statistics are also utilized by other government agencies and private sectors as well as researchers and the general public who rely on this data for economic analysis and market research.
The data collected has limitations. It only includes projects that have received approval through building permits during the reference period. Additionally, government horizontal projects like roads, bridges, and sewerage systems are excluded in the generation of construction statistics. Similarly, minor constructions and repairs that don't need permits are also excluded from the data. The compilation of construction statistics from approved building permits is authorized by Republic Act No. 10625 known as the Philippine Statistical Act of 2013, which was approved by law on September 12, 2013. Section 27 of RA No. 10625 enforces the confidentiality of information.
A key turning point came in 1993, with the issuance of Joint Memorandum Circular by DILG and DPWH.
This JMC specifically outlined the duties of municipal and city engineers, entrusting them with the responsibility to oversee the implementation of the National Building Code and to contribute to the generation of construction statistics from approved building permits.
In 2024, the DPWH, DILG, and PSA signed a joint memorandum circular.
The purpose of this JMC is to prescribe guidelines in the collection of Unified Application Form or UAF for building permits and certificates of completion from the LBOs.
The PSA through this JMC shall collect the UAF and physical and/or electronic copy of certificates of completion
from the LBOs within the first 5 working days after each reference month through its PSOs, subject to applicable rules on confidentiality under relevant laws, rules, and regulations. Construction statistics from approved building permits covers both residential and non-residential buildings. Residential buildings include single houses, duplexes, apartments, and townhouses, while non-residential buildings cover commercial, industrial, institutional, and agricultural structures. Included also are the non-building structures such as billboards, parks, monuments, sidewalks, and other street furniture and landscapes. The compilation of construction statistics follows 3 key classification systems.
2005 revised IRR of the National Building
Or
Code.
Presidential Decree No. 1096 provides the legal framework for classifying buildings based on their occupancy, such as residential, commercial, industrial, institutional, agricultural, and non-building structures. The code ensures public safety, health, and welfare by regulating construction standards, which are enforced by local building officials. The Philippine Standard Geographic Classification, or PSGC, is the official system used to classify
regions, provinces, highly urbanized cities, other cities, municipalities, barangays.
This system ensures consistency across government agencies when handling geographic data. The 2019 updates to the 2009 Philippine Standard Industrial Classification or PHYSIC align Philippine industry classifications with international standards, enabling the government to track industrial trends and economic growth in sectors like real estate, manufacturing, and services. The general process flow in compiling statistics from approved building permits starts with the collection of documents from LBOs.
Data processing includes manual and machine processing, and finally the dissemination of results.
Manual processing involves editing and coding of entries in the building permit documents based on the guidelines in the operations and processing manual. Machine processing involves data entry, validation, and consistency checks using the building permit computer system. Dissemination of results, preliminary construction statistics are made available to the public through monthly special releases, infographics, and statistical tables. These reports are posted on the PSA website 50 days after the reference month, ensuring timely access to important construction data. For more details and information, please visit these links. Thank you.
Okay, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you found the audiovisual presentation informative because understanding the background is crucial as we now proceed in presenting and discussing the results of construction statistics from the approved building permits. But before that, we would like to acknowledge the presence of our participants from Navotas. So complete na po tayo. Complete na ang lahat ng LGUs ng NCR. And to make our event more interactive and fun, let's have a short quiz. So our top 3 winners will receive a very expensive prize. So kindly visit the quiz.com. May we flash on the screen how to register for our quiz this morning. Again, top 3 winners will receive prize from the ISD. Very expensive. Not all mabibigyan po nito. Ano kaya ito, Ma'am Rachel? Okay, kindly register po. We have our PIN code 150113. Kindly visit quiz.com, then just register the PIN code 150113. Kindly put your name. Sana wala po maglagay ng baby boy or baby girl for proper recognition po later kung sino po yung mananalo. We're waiting for players. Oh, meron ng isa. 3, 6. Mama boy. Brother phone. Again, our PIN code is 150113. May dadagdag pa ba? We have 28, 29, 30, 35. Okay, once we reach 35, we will start the quiz. Last 2 players. We have 33 right now. Or wala na. Bumawa, nag-back out. Yung coverage po ng quiz natin ay yung AVP na na-present earlier. Wala pong ibang coverage ito. Ayan, dumagdag. Bumalik siguro. Last 2 o last 1. Okay, let's start our quiz with question number 1. Which of the following is excluded in the generation of construction statistics from approved building permits? Choices are alterations and repairs, horizontal government construction, private constructions, and vertical government construction. Again, which of the following is excluded in the generation of construction statistics from approved building permits? Choices are alterations and repairs, horizontal government construction, private constructions, and vertical government construction. And the correct answer is horizontal government construction. And our leading scorer is Quick Fork. Next question. Which one of the following is not a type of residential building? Choices are agricultural, apartment, duplex, residential condominium. Again, which one of the following is not a type of residential building? Choices are agricultural, apartment, duplex, or residential condominium. And the correct answer is agricultural. And for the last question, pero yung leading po natin ay Saling Katkat. Next is Janine, next is Dang. Okay, let's see kung same pa rin yung magiging standing natin with this final question. Double points. For our final question, when is the submission date of the approved building permits and certificates of completion of the LGUs to PSA? Choices are 5th day after each reference month, first working day after each reference month, within first 5 days after each reference month, or within first 5 working days after each reference month. Again, for our final question, when is the submission date of the approved building permits and certificates of completion of the LGUs to PSA? And the correct answer is within first 5 working days after each reference month. And let's proceed to the awarding. May we request DNS Grace, Ma'am Rachel, and RD Nodi to award the prizes to our top 3 winners. Third place, we have Uncle Aimbot. Where are you po, sir? Uncle? Sino po si Uncle? Uncle? Sir, sayang po yung prize. Where's Uncle Aimbot? Ikaw po, ma'am. Okay, congratulations po. Second place, we have Brew with 3,370 points. Guys, alam nyo ba kung kayo yan? Kindly check your phone, please. Di ba meron naman yung lumalabas kung anong place ka po. Where's Brew? Sayang po, second place. Oy, baka kindly check your phone po. Okay, sige. Later na lang natin award. Kindly approach our secretariat kung ikaw po si Brew. And our winner for our first quiz this morning, we have BCL. Nahihiya na si winner na to, oh. Sino po si BCL? Kindly check your phone po. Taga-ISD po. Taga-ISD. So, ano sir, yung sa ano na lang, i-add na lang natin siya sa next quiz natin. We have our second round of quiz. Right, ma'am? Meron? Yun. May second round. Kindly listen to our presentations po later para po makuha niyo po yung prizes po natin. Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Grace, Ma'am Rachel, and RD Nodi. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the most anticipated results of the construction statistics from approved building permits, and to present the national results, may we request the Chief Statistical Specialist of the Industry Statistics Division of PSA, Mr. John Paul C. Sacco. A round of applause, please.
To our PSA officials, Assistant Secretary Divina Gracia L. Del Prado, Deputy National Statistician of the Sectoral Statistics Office of the PSA, Assistant National Statistician Rachel C. Laksa of Economic Sector Statistics Service, Regional Director Pasiano B. Dizon of the Regional Statistical Services Office, NCR, to our distinguished guest, Engineer Angelo G. Manuel of the Environmental Land Use and Urban Planning and Development Division of the Department of Human Settlement and Urban Development. Executive Director Attorney John Alexander Belderol will be joining later. And Executive Director Architect Mary Rolin Ara Torrecampo Angeles of the Commission on the Governmental and External Affairs of the United Architects of the Philippines. Our valued partners in LBOs and LGUs and colleagues from PSA. Good morning. I will be presenting the construction statistics from the approved building permits at the national level from 2020 to 2024 and the latest data from January to July 2025. Allow me to reiterate the scope and coverage of the construction statistics from approved building permits. These are the following: residential buildings, non-residential buildings, addition to existing structures, alteration or repair to existing structures, and other construction, which include demolition, street furniture, landscaping, and signboards, among others. Moreover, residential buildings consist of the following: single houses, duplex, quadruplex houses, apartment accessoria, and residential condominium, among others. In addition, non-residential buildings include the following: commercial buildings, industrial buildings, institutional buildings, and agricultural buildings, among others. I will present the result following this outline. First, data on the number of constructions, followed by value of constructions, total floor area of constructions, and the average cost per square meter. These indicators will be presented from 2020 to 2024 and the latest data from January to July 2025. Lastly, I will also present the summary of the results. The data presented are disaggregated by types of construction, types of buildings, and top 5 regions. First, I will present the result of the 2024 construction statistics from approved building permits at the national level. In terms of the number of construction, the graph shows the total number of construction and annual growth rates from 2020 to 2024. The construction activities bounced back after a significant downturn in 2020, mainly due to the pandemic. In 2024, the total number of constructions from approved building permits in the country reached 180,341. This was higher by 5.3% from the 171,268 constructions recorded in 2023. The slide presents the total number of constructions by type in 2024. Among types of construction, residential constructions posted the highest number of constructions at 116,427, or almost 2/3 of the total in 2024. On screen is the total number of construction by type of residential building in 2024. Among residential constructions, majority or more than 4/5 of the total residential constructions in 2024 were single-type houses with 97,490 constructions. The graph shows the total number of constructions by type of non-residential building in 2024. Most or more than 2/3 of the non-residential constructions were commercial-type buildings with 27,053 construction in 2024. The slide presents the top 5 regions in terms of number of constructions in 2024. Region 4A, or Calabarzon, recorded the highest number of construction at 41,471, or almost 1/4 of the total constructions in 2024. Region 3, or Central Luzon, came in second with 22,824 constructions, while Region 7, or Central Visayas, and the National Capital Region followed with 13,533 constructions and 13,478 constructions, respectively. Region 1, or Ilocos Region, posted the 5th highest number of construction with 13,315. Collectively, the top 5 regions contributed more than half or 58% of the total constructions in the country in 2024. The thematic map shows the degree of construction activities by region. The darkest shade denotes the region with the highest number of constructions, while the lightest shade pertains to the region with the least number of constructions. Now, I will present the statistics in terms of value of construction. On the screen is the total number of constructions and annual growth rates from 2020 to 2024. The value of constructions has steadily recovered since 2021 and continuously grown in terms of level for the last 4 years. The total value of constructions in the Philippines in 2024 amounted to 563.89 billion pesos, which was 9.4% higher than the total construction value in 2023. The graph shows the total number of constructions by type in 2024. Non-residential constructions valued at 250.86 billion pesos, or 44.5% of the total, posted the highest value of constructions in 2024. This was immediately followed by residential constructions with 248.65 billion pesos. The slide presents the total value of constructions by type of residential building in 2024. Among residential construction, single-type houses registered the highest construction value at 156.08 billion pesos, or almost 2/3 of the total value of residential constructions in 2024. The graph shows the total value of constructions by type of non-residential building in 2024. Commercial-type buildings had the highest value of construction at 112.42 billion pesos, or more than 2/3 of the total among non-residential constructions. On screen are the top 5 regions in terms of construction value in 2024. Across regions, the top 5 in terms of construction value in 2024 were Region 4A, or Calabarzon, which recorded the highest value at 118.37 billion pesos, or more than 1/5 of the total construction value in 2024. National Capital Region at 112.84 billion pesos, Region 3 or Central Luzon at 76.50 billion pesos, Region 7 or Central Visayas at 39.30 billion, and Negros Island Region at 27.14 billion pesos. These regions contributed almost 2/3 of the total value of constructions in the country in 2024. Now, I will discuss the statistics in terms of the total floor area of constructions. The slide shows the total floor area of constructions and annual growth rates from 2020 to 2024. A stable increase can be observed in the total floor area of constructions from 2021 to 2024. However, the pace of growth over the 4 years has been slowing down. In 2024, the total floor area of construction in the country stood at 42.84 million square meters. This was 3.3% higher than 41.47 million square meters total floor area posted in 2023. Total floor area excludes alteration and repair, other non-residential such as facade, helipad, niche, water tank, etc., and other constructions, since there is no reported floor area for these types of constructions. The graph presents the total floor area of construction by type in 2024. Non-residential constructions registered the highest total floor area of constructions in 2024 at 22.38 million square meters, or more than half of the total. The same trend was observed in the value of constructions. On screen is the total floor area by type of residential building in 2024. Among residential constructions, single-type houses posted the highest total floor area at 12.99 million square meters, or almost two-thirds of the total in 2024. The graph shows the total floor area by type of non-residential building in 2024. Commercial-type buildings contributed the largest floor area in 2024 at 10.04 million square meters among non-residential constructions. The slide presents the top 5 regions in terms of total floor area of constructions in 2024. Region 4A, or Calabarzon, had the highest total floor area of 8.26 million square meters, or almost 1/5 of the total in 2024. Followed by Region 3, or Central Luzon, National Capital Region, and Region 7, or Central Visayas, at 6.42 million square meters, 5.74 million square meters, and 3.26 million square meters, respectively. Negros Island region ranked fifth with 2.60 million square meters. Now, I will present the statistics in terms of the average cost of constructions per square meter. The graph shows the average cost of constructions per square meters from 2020 to 2024. The average cost of constructions in the country peaked in 2024 at 11,822.14 square meters. This was 7.3 higher than the average cost of 11,017.27 pesos per square meter in 2023. The average cost of constructions is derived from the value of construction over the total floor area. Hence, it also excludes alteration and repair, other non-residential, and other construction, since there is no reported floor area for these types of constructions. On the screen is the average cost of construction per square meter by type in 2024. Addition to existing structures recorded the highest average cost of constructions in 2024 at 12,655.95 pesos per square meter. The slide presents the average cost of construction per square meter by type of residential in 2024. Among residential constructions, residential condominiums posted the highest average cost of 17,187.43 pesos per square meter in 2024. The graph shows the average cost of constructions per square meter by type of non-residential building in 2024. Institutional type buildings had a costliest average cost of 13,924.23 pesos per square meter in 2024 among non-residential constructions. On screen are the top 5 regions in terms of average cost of construction per square meter in 2024. The leading 5 regions with the highest average cost of constructions in 2024 were Cordillera Administrative Region, which posted the highest average cost of 15,913.58 pesos per square meter. National Capital Region with 15,408.53 pesos per square meter. Region 5 or Bicol Region with 14,769.66 pesos per square meters. Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao with 13,099.45 pesos per square meter. And Region 4A or Calabarzon with 13,023.90 pesos per square meter. The average cost of these regions was higher than the national average. That covers the 2024 construction statistics from approved building permits at the national level. Now, I will present the latest statistics from January to July 2025 at the national level. In terms of number of constructions, the graph presents the total number of constructions and monthly growth rates from January to July 2025. The highest number of constructions in the country was recorded in May 2025 with 16,961 constructions. In total, the number of constructions from January to July 2025 reached 107,228, indicating an increase of 2.8% from the total number of constructions in the same period in 2024. On screen is the total number of construction by type from January to July 2025. Similar to the 2024 results among types of construction, residential buildings posted the highest number at 70,062 construction, or almost 2/3 of the total, from January to July 2025. The slide shows the total number of constructions by type of residential building in January to July 2025. Among residential constructions, the majority or more than 4/5 of the total were single-type houses with 59,724 constructions from January to July 2025. The graph presents the total number of constructions by type of non-residential building from January to July 2025. Most or more than 2/3 of the non-residential constructions were commercial type buildings with 15,611 constructions in January to July 2025. The slide shows the top 5 regions in terms of number of constructions from January to July 2025. Region 4A or Calabarzon still posted the highest number of constructions from January to July 2025 at 26,125 or 24.4% of the total. Region 3 or Central Luzon came in second with 14,891 constructions, while Region 1 or Ilocos Region and Region 7 or Central Visayas followed with 8,337 construction and 7,646 constructions, respectively. The National Capital Region ranked 5th with 7,265 constructions. Now, I will discuss the January to July 2025 statistics in terms of value of constructions. The graph presents the total number of constructions and monthly growth rates from January to July 2025. The highest construction value in the country was registered in June 2025 with 58.89 billion pesos. The total value of constructions from January to July 2025 amounted to 335.30 billion pesos, registering an increase of 6.8% from the total value of constructions in the same period in 2024. On screen is the total value of constructions by type from January to July 2025. Similar to the 2024 results, among types of construction, non-residential constructions valued at 151.49 billion pesos or 45.2% of the total posted, the highest value of constructions from January to July 2025. This is immediately followed by residential buildings with 149.88 billion pesos. The slide shows the total value of construction by type of residential building from January to July 2025. Among residential constructions, single-type houses registered the highest value of constructions at 91.15 billion pesos from January to July 2025. The graph presents the total value of constructions by type of non-residential building from January to July 2025. Institutional type buildings had the highest value of constructions at 62 billion pesos among non-residential constructions from January to July 2025. On screen are the top 5 regions in terms of value of constructions from January to July 2025. The leading 5 regions with the highest value of constructions for the period January to July 2025 were the following. The National Capital Region, which recorded the highest construction value of 67.04 billion pesos or 1/5 of the total. Region 4A or Calabarzon with 66.80 billion pesos, Region 3 or Central Luzon with 52.80 billion pesos, Region 7 or Central Visayas with 23.57 billion pesos, Region 11 or Davao Region with 16.91 billion pesos. Now, I will present the January to July 2025 statistics in terms of total floor area of constructions. The graph shows the total floor area of constructions and monthly growth rates from January to July 2025. The highest total floor area in the country was recorded in June 2025 at 4.60 million square meters. The total floor area of constructions from January to July 2025 stood at 26.51 million square meters. This was higher by 8.6% from the total floor area recorded in the same period in 2024. The slide presents the total floor area of construction by type from January to July 2025. Similar to the 2024 results, among types of construction, non-residential buildings registered the highest total floor area from January to July 2025 at 13.88 million square meters. This was followed by residential constructions at 12.22 million square meters. On screen is the total floor area of construction by type of residential building from January to July 2025. Among residential construction, single-type houses posted the highest total floor area at 7.66 million square meters from January to July 2025. The graph shows the total floor area of construction by type of non-residential building from January to July 2025. Commercial type buildings contributed the largest total floor area at 6.10 million square meters among non-residential constructions from January to July 2025. The slide presents the top 5 regions in terms of total floor area of constructions from January to July 2025. Across regions, Region 4A or Calabarzon posted the highest total floor area at 5.01 million square meters from January to July 2025. Region 3 or Central Luzon and the National Capital Region followed with 4.81 million square meters and 4.04 million square meters respectively. Region 7 or Central Visayas came in fourth place with 1.91 million square meters, while Davao Region ranked fifth with 1.82 million square meters. Now, I will discuss the January to July 2025 statistics in terms of average cost of construction per square meters. On screen is the average cost of constructions per square meter and monthly growth rates from January to July 2025. The highest average cost of constructions in the country was registered in January 2025 at 12,132.86 pesos per square meter. Meanwhile, the average cost of constructions from January to July 2025 was recorded at 11,460.38 pesos per square meter. This was 1.3% lower than the average cost in the same period in 2024. The graph presents the average cost of construction by type from January to July 2025. Residential constructions recorded the highest average cost of construction at 12,268.23 pesos per square meter among the types of constructions in January to July 2025. The slide shows the average cost of constructions per square meter by type of residential building from January to July 2025. Among residential constructions, residential condominiums posted the highest average cost of 15,515.71 pesos per square meter from January to July 2025. The graph shows the average cost of constructions by type of non-residential building from January to July 2025. Institutional type buildings had the costliest average cost of 13,397.16 pesos per square meter among non-residential construction from January to July 2025. On screen are the top 5 leading regions in terms of average cost of construction per square meter from January to July 2025. The top 5 regions with the highest average cost of constructions per square meter from January to July 2025 were the following. Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Masli, Mindanao, which recorded the highest average cost of constructions from January to July 2025 at 16,091.84 pesos per square meter. Cordillera Administrative Region with 15,516.86 pesos per square meter. Mimaropa Region with 14,528.28 pesos per square meter. Region 5 or Bicol Region with 14,229.0 pesos per square meter. And Region 6 or Western Visayas with 13,631.82 pesos per square meter. To summarize, in 2024, the number of constructions in the country from approved building permits reached 180,341, registering an annual increment of 5.3% from the number recorded in 2023. The total value of construction amounted to 563.89 billion pesos, indicating an annual increase of 9.4% from the value posted in 2023. The total floor area was estimated at 42.84 million square meters, which indicates an annual expansion of 3.3% from the total floor area registered in 2023. The average cost of construction was at 11,822.14 pesos per square meter, which corresponds to an annual increase of 7.3% from the average cost in 2023. From January to July 2025, the number of constructions reached 107,228, recording an annual increase of 2.8% from the number recorded in the same period in 2024. The total value of constructions amounted to 335.30 billion pesos, indicating an annual increase of 6.8% from the value posted in the same period in 2024. The total floor area was estimated at 26.51 million square meters, which indicates an annual increase of 8.6% from the total floor area registered in the same period in 2024. The average cost of construction was at 11,460.38 pesos per square meter, which registered an annual decrease of 1.3% from the average cost in the same period in 2024. This ends my presentation of the construction statistics from approved building permits at the national level. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir JP, for presenting the national results. And to present the results for the National Capital Region, let's all welcome the Supervising Statistical Specialist of the Statistical Operations and Coordination Division of PSA NCR, Mr. Abzrahan A. Miguel. A round of applause, please.
Yan, thank you. So good morning. So I will skip the introduction. So I will be presenting the results of the construction statistics from approved building permits of NCR. So I will present the results following this outline. So first, data on the number of constructions, followed by the value of constructions, the total floor area of constructions, then the average cost per square meter. This data will be presented is from 2020 to 2024 and the latest data from January to July 2025. Lastly, I will present the summary of the results. The data presented are disaggregated by types of construction, types of building, and top performers regarding the construction statistics by city and municipality. Now, for the results of the 2024 construction statistics from approved building permits for NCR, the graph shows that the total number of constructions and annual growth rates of NCRs from 2020 to 2024. Similar to the 2024 national results, the construction activities bounced back after a significant downturn in 2020 due to the pandemic. In 2024, the total number of constructions from approved building permits for NCR reached to 13,478. This was higher by 5.6% from the 12,767 constructions recorded in 2023. The slide shows the total number of constructions by type in NCR in 2024. Among types of constructions, residential buildings in NCR posted the highest number of constructions at 5,830 or 42.4% share of the total constructions in 2024. Next slide is the total number of constructions by type of residential building in NCR. Among residential constructions, majority or more than two-thirds of the total residential constructions in the region were single-type houses with 4,180 constructions. Next slide shows the graph about the total number of constructions by type of non-residential buildings in the region. In 2024, most or more than two-thirds of non-residential constructions were commercial-type buildings, with 1,167 constructions in NCR in 2024. Next slide presents the top 5 highly urbanized cities in terms of number of constructions in the region. Quezon City recorded the highest number of construction at 2,940, or more than one-fifth of the total construction in NCR. Next slide. Now I will present the statistics in terms of the value of constructions. On the screen shows the total value of constructions and annual growth rates from 2020 to 2024. The value of constructions recovered in 2021 and peaked in 2023. The total value of constructions in NCR in 2024 amounted to 112.84 billion pesos, which was 5% lower than the total construction value posted in the previous year. The graph shows the total value of constructions by type in the region last 2024. Residential constructions valued at 57.21 billion pesos, or half of the total, posted the highest value of constructions in NCR in 2024. This slide presents the total value of constructions by type of residential building. Among residential constructions, residential condominiums registered the highest construction, valued at 29.98 billion pesos, or more than half of the total value of residential constructions in the region. The graph shows that the total value of constructions by type of non-residential building in NCR in 2024. Commercial type buildings had the highest value of constructions at 17.29 billion pesos, or more than half of the total among non-residential constructions. Next slide shows the top 5 HUCs in terms of construction values in NCRs for the year 2024. And these are, first po is Quezon City, which is recorded the highest, value at 33.61 billion pesos, or 29.8% share of the total construction value in NCR. To be followed by City of Taguig, then City of Pasig, City of Makati, and Pasay City. So these 5 cities contributed more than two-thirds of the total value of constructions in NCR in 2024. Now, I will discuss the statistics in terms of the total floor area of construction in NCR. This slide shows the total floor area constructions and annual growth rates in NCR from 2020 to 2024. The total floor area of constructions recovered in 2021 and peaked in 2023. In 2024, the total floor area of constructions in NCR stood at 5.74 million square meters. This was 12.2% lower than the 6.54 million square meters total floor area posted in 2023. The graph presents the total floor area of constructions by type in NCR in 2024. Residential constructions registered the highest total floor area of constructions in NCR in 2024 at 3.57 million square meters, or more than half of the total. Next slide. So on the screen is the total floor area by type of residential building in the region. So among residential constructions, residential condominiums posted the largest total floor area at 1.67 million square meters, or almost half of the total floor area of residential constructions in NCR. This graph shows the total floor area by type of non-residential buildings in the region in 2024. commercial type building had the largest total floor area at 997.54 thousand square meters among non-residential constructions. Next slide. The slides also presents the top 5 HUCs in terms of total floor areas of construction in the region. Quezon City had the highest total floor area of 1.61 million square meters, or more than one-fourth of the total floor area in NCR in 2024. Next slide. Now I will present the statistics in terms of the average cost of construction per square meter. As seen in the graph, from 2020 to 2024, the average construction cost increased in 2024 at 422.71 per square meter. So this was 10.7% higher than the average cost of 13,937.91 pesos per square meter in 2023. On the screen is the average cost of construction per square meter by type of building in NCR. So residential constructions recorded the highest average cost of construction in the region at 16,021.33 pesos per square meter. The slide presents the average cost of construction per square meter by type of residential building in the region. So among residential constructions, residential condominium posted the highest average cost of 18,538.19 pesos per square meter. Next slide shows the graph about the average cost of construction per square meter by type of non-residential building. So commercial type buildings had the highest average cost of 17,334.11 pesos per square meter, which is highest among non-residential construction. So next po are the top 5 cities, municipalities in terms of the average cost of construction per square meter in the region. So the top 5 HUCs with the highest average cost of construction in 2024. So first po, nandiyan po si City of Las Piñas, which posted the highest average cost of 19,733.10 pesos per square meter. So this was followed by the cities of San Juan, City of Taguig, Quezon City, and City of Parañaque. So the average cost of these 5 cities was higher than the national average in 2024. Now let us move on to, and I will be presenting the latest statistics, which will be with reference period from January to July 2025. The graph presents the total number of constructions and monthly growth rates in NCR. The highest number of construction was recorded in March 2025 with 1,195 constructions. In total, the number of constructions from approved building permits in the region during this period reached to 7,265, and this was 5.3% lower than the number recorded in the same period in 2024. In addition, the region shared 6.8% to the country's total number of construction from January to July 2025. So this slide shows the total number of construction by type in the region from January to July 2025. By type of construction, residential buildings posted the highest number of constructions at 3,255, or almost half of the total constructions in NCR. On screen is the total number of constructions by residential building in NCR from January to July 2025. So among residential constructions, the majority, or more than 3/4 of the total, were attributed to single-type houses with 2,453 constructions. So next, the graph presents the total number of constructions by type of non-residential buildings for the first 7 months of 2025. Most or more than two-thirds of non-residential constructions were commercial type buildings, with 620 constructions recorded. So next slide shows the top 5 highly urbanized cities in NCR in terms of the number of constructions. So the leading 5 HUCs were the following. First is the Quezon City, then second, City of Valenzuela, third, City of Makati, fourth, City of Caloocan, then fifth, City of Taguig. Now I will discuss the January to July 2025 statistics in terms of value of construction. The graph presents the total value of constructions and monthly growth rates in NCR from January to July 2025. By month, the highest construction value was registered in June 2025 with 12.24 billion pesos. The total value of construction during this period amounted to 67.04 billion pesos, which indicates a decrease of 2.4% from the total value of constructions posted in the same period of the previous year. On screen is a total value of construction by type. So by type of construction, residential constructions valued at 31.94 billion pesos or 47.2% share of the total posted, which is posted as the highest value of construction in the region from January to July 2025. So this slide shows the total value of constructions by type of residential buildings in NCR from January to July 2025. Residential condominiums registered the highest value of construction at 17.78 billion pesos among residential constructions during this period. The graph presents the total value of construction by type of non-residential building. Commercial type buildings had the highest value of construction at 10.35 billion pesos among non-residential constructions from January to July 2025. So on the screen are again the top 5 highly urbanized cities in terms of value of constructions for the period January to July 2025. City of Pasig recorded the highest construction value of 16.58 billion pesos, or which is the almost 1/5 of the total value. 1/5? 1/4. Sorry po. Next slide po. Now I will present the January to July 2025 statistics in terms of total floor area of construction. The slide presents the total floor area of construction and monthly growth rates in NCR from January to July 2025. The highest total floor area at 0.95 million square meters was recorded in June 2025. The total floor area of construction from January to July 2025 stood at 4.04 million square meters, which was higher by 15.1% from the total floor area recorded in the same period of the previous year. The graph shows the total floor area of constructions by type in the region. So by type of construction, residential constructions registered the highest total floor area at 2.44 million square meters. So on the screen is the total floor area of construction by type of residential building. Among residential constructions, residential condominiums posted the largest total floor area at 1.35 million square meters. Next, the graph shows the total floor area by type of non-residential buildings from January to July 2025. Commercial type buildings contributed the largest floor area in 2024 at 711.95 thousand square meters among non-residential construction. Next slide shows the top 5 highly urbanized cities in terms of total floor area of construction from January to July 2025. City of Pasig posted the highest total floor area at 1.1 million square meters from January to July 2025. Quezon City follows at second, City of Manila at third, City of Taguig fourth, then the City of Valenzuela ranking fifth. Next slide. Now I will discuss the January to July 2025 statistics in terms of average cost of construction in NCR. On the screen is the average cost of construction per square meter and monthly growth rates from January to July 2025. The highest average cost of construction in NCR was registered in January 2025 at 18,482.75 pesos per square meter. Meanwhile, the average cost of construction from January to July 2025 was recorded at 13,391.41 pesos per square meter. This was 12.5% lower than the average cost in the same period in 2024. The graph presents the average cost of construction by type from January to July 2025. Non-residential constructions recorded the highest average cost of construction at 14,114.67 pesos per square meter from January to July 2025. Next slide shows the average cost of construction per square meter by type of residential building. So among residential constructions, single-type houses posted the highest average cost of 13,712.87 pesos per square meter from January to July 2025. The graph shows the average cost of construction by type of non-residential building from January to July 2025. So institutional type buildings had the most expensive average cost of 17,863.15 pesos per square meter among non-residential constructions. So on the screens are the top 5 highly urbanized cities in terms of average cost of construction per square meter. So City of Muntinlupa, which recorded the highest cost of construction from January to July 2025 at 28,435.42 pesos per square meter. City of Las Piñas with 21,461.12 pesos per square meter, and so on. So in summary, in 2024, the number of constructions in NCR from approved building permit reached to 13,478, registering an annual increment of 5.6% compared to 2023. The total value of constructions amounted to 112.84 billion pesos, indicating an annual decrease of 5.7%. The total floor area was estimated at 5.74 million square meters, which indicates an annual decline of 12.2%. Then the average cost of construction was at 15,422.72 pesos per square meter, which corresponds to an annual increase of 10.7% from the average cost in 2023. For the January to July 2025, the number of constructions reached 7,265, recording an annual decrease of 5.3% from the number recorded in the same period in 2024. The total value of constructions amounted to 67.04 billion pesos, indicating an annual decrease of 2.4%. The total floor area was estimated at 4.0 million square meters, which indicates an annual increase of 15.1%, while the average cost of construction was at 13,391.41 pesos per square meter, which registered an annual decrease of 12.5% from the average cost in the same period of the previous year. So that ends my presentation on the results of the construction statistics from approved building permits of NCR. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Sir Abs, for presenting the results for the National Capital Region. And before we proceed to the next part of our program, let's have our second round of the quiz. Again, kindly visit quiz.com and register or using the PIN code 598680. Top 5 winners will receive prizes from PSA. Top 5 na po since dalawa po yung hindi na-receive kanina. Okay, let's start. We have how many participants? Again, kindly visit quiz.com and use the PIN code 598680. Okay, we have 4, 5. "26 players. Okay, once we reach 30, I guess, or 26 will do. Okay, let's start. Let's start with our first question. First question. Which type of residential building had the lowest number of constructions in 2024 at the national level? Choices are apartment or accessoria, other residential, residential condominium, or single houses. Again, first question, which type of residential building had the lowest number of constructions in 2024 at the national level? And the correct answer is residential condominium. And our top scorer for the first question, we have Smiley, ASJ, and October. Second question, which region in the Philippines had the highest average cost of construction in 2024? Choices are Calabarzon, Central Visayas, Cordillera Administrative Region, or the National Capital Region. Again, which region in the Philippines had the highest average cost of construction in 2024? Choices are Calabarzon, Central Visayas, Cordillera Administrative Region, or the National Capital Region. And the correct answer is Cordillera Administrative Region. Leading is still Smiley. We have ASJ and October. And, oh sorry, it's Dang and Smiley. Last question. Which city at the National Capital Region registered the highest value of constructions in 2024? Choices are City of Las Piñas, City of Makati, City of Pasig, or Quezon City. Again, which city at the National Capital Region registered the highest value of constructions in 2024? Choices are City of Las Piñas, Makati, Pasig, or Quezon City. And the correct answer is Quezon City. And to award the prizes to our top 5 winners, may we... 5 questions. Okay. Akala ko 3 lang. So may chance pa humabol. Fourth question. Which city at the National Capital Region recorded the highest average cost of construction per square meter in 2024? Choices are City of Las Piñas, Parañaque, San Juan, or Taguig. Again, for the fourth question, Which city at the National Capital Region recorded the highest average cost of construction per square meter in 2024? Choices are Okay. The correct answer is Las Piñas. Ang bilis. Tingnan natin kung may changes. Okay, leading is Dang, followed by MK. And for the final question, double points. From January to July 2025, which city at the National Capital Region posted the largest floor area? Choices are City of Manila, Pasig, Valenzuela, or Quezon City. Again, from January to July 2025, which city at the National Capital Region posted the largest floor area? City of Manila, Pasig, Valenzuela, or Quezon City? And the correct answer is City of Pasig. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's proceed to the awarding of winners. May we request Ma'am Grace, Ma'am Rachel, and RD Nodi to award our prizes for our top 5. Okay, may we check the 5th place? Okay, 5th place goes to Moon 1. Where are you po, Moon 1? Wala pa rin magre-receive. Yes! Congratulations po! Our 5th placer. Next, our 4th placer. We have Joza. Joza. Third placer, we have MK. Congratulations, sir. Second placer, we have Frick Knot. Wow, congratulations, sir. And our winner for this round, we have Dang. Okay, congratulations to our winners. Thank you very much, RD Nodi, Ma'am Grace, and Ma'am Rachel. And now we are pleased to hear insights from our esteemed discussants who are experts in their respective fields. Ladies and gentlemen, our first discussant, the Executive Director of the Commission on Governmental and External Affairs of the United Architects of the Philippines. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome Architect Mary Roline Ara Torrecampo Angeles. A round of applause, please.
Good morning, everyone, to our respected officials from the Philippine Statistics Authority, headed by Assistant Secretary Divina Gracia del Prado, to our distinguished keynote speaker, Engineer Christian Angelo Manuel, to our colleagues from national agencies, LGUs, and the private sector. A pleasant morning to all. On behalf of the United Architects of the Philippines, it is both an honor and a responsibility to share insights as we reflect on the nation's construction performance and its policy implications, not only as builders of structures, but as stewards of sustainable and lawful development. According to the Philippine Statistics Authority, a total of 107,228 constructions were recorded in 2025, covering 26.5 million square meters of floor area and amounting to 335.3 billion in total value. This represents a 40% decrease from 2024, when the country posted 341 constructions with 42.8 million square meters and a total value of 563.9 billion. Despite this numerical decline, the data suggests not weakness, but consolidation. Fewer projects, but often larger, higher value developments, showing how the sector is maturing towards quality, efficiency, and sustainability. Residential development still leads with 149.8 billion worth of permits, while non-residential projects accounted for 151.4 billion. Both segments reflect the growing need for housing, industrial zones, and commercial hubs outside Metro Manila. Although residential construction floor area fell from 19.7 million square meters in 2024 to 12.2 million square meters in 2025, the trend shows a pivot toward mid to high-rise developments, reflecting urban densification and professional design oversight. Regionally, the construction surge remains centered in the country's growth corridors. Calabarzon, Region 4A, led with 66.8 billion or 19.9% of the total, driven by developments in Cavite, Batangas, and Laguna. Central Luzon, Region 3, followed with 52.8 billion, highlighting Pampanga and Bulacan as major industrial centers. Metro Manila recorded 67 billion, reflecting fewer but high-value vertical projects. Together, these regions accounted for over half of all nations' construction activity, underscoring the need for synchronized zoning and land use policies. The 2025 construction statistics serve as early indicators of urban transformation, showing how Philippines is evolving spatially and guiding architects, engineers, and planners towards data-driven, sustainable design decisions. Regional urbanization. Growth in Calabarzon and Central Luzon signals the decentralization of Metro Manila, calling for metropolitan-scale planning that integrates infrastructure, housing, and transport across provinces and eco-regions. Sustainable land use. Rising construction density highlights the need for stronger CLUPs, anchored on climate resilience, open spaces, and green infrastructure to prevent congestion, heat islands, and flooding. Data-driven urban systems. PSA construction data should feed into GIS-based tools for real-time monitoring, supporting decisions on affordable housing, transit-oriented growth, and social facilities. Balanced regional growth. Emerging regions like Visayas and Mindanao must receive strategic investment to achieve equitable development and reduce population and economic pressure on Mega Manila. Green and resilient design. Every building permit must represent an environmental commitment, ensuring that architecture contributes to a low-carbon, disaster-ready Philippines. The UAP, therefore, emphasizes 5 key policy implications. Number 1, upholding the Supreme Court ruling on PD 1096, Section 302, Application for Permit. The PSA data on building permit issuances reinforces the need for proper professional attribution. As ruled by the Supreme Court, only registered and licensed architects are authorized to sign and seal architectural plans submitted to the office of the building official. This must now be fully integrated in all LGU permit systems to uphold public safety and professional accountability. Number 2, mandatory implementation of the architectural permit. The architectural ancillary permit remains the backbone of a project's design compliance. We urge the uniform adoption of updated unified permit forms that clearly identify the architect in charge of design and delineate responsibilities between professions. Number 3, streamlining under the Anti-Red Tape Authority, ARTA. The construction slowdown in 2025 data partially reflects administrative bottlenecks. ARTA's streamlining directive is crucial to restoring efficiency, removing redundant steps, and empowering professionals to file digital and transparent applications. Number 4, civil society and CSO participation. The UAP encourages CSO involvement in monitoring building permit compliance at the LGU level. This fosters accountability, reduces corruption risk, and ensures a participatory approach to urban development where data meets governance. Last, sustainability through data-driven design. These statistics reminds us that every permit numbers represents a real community being shaped. Through data, we can plan not just faster, but smarter, ensuring that growth aligns with climate resilience, inclusive zoning, and architectural integrity. In conclusion, while 2025 figures show a temporary contraction in construction activity, they should also signal a transition towards smarter, more compliant, and higher value development. The United Architects of the Philippines stands ready to collaborate with PSA, DSUD, ARTA, and LGUs in transforming these numbers into actionable insights, where every plan approved is safe, sustainable, and signed by the right professionals. Let us continue building not just structures, but systems of integrity, collaboration, and foresight for our nation's progress. Maraming salamat po at magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you very much, Architect Mary Roline Ara Torrecampo Angeles. And to award the plaque of recognition to our discussant, may we request Assistant Secretary Divina Gracia del Prado, ANS Rachel Laksa, and RD Pasiano Dizon to award the plaque of recognition to our discussant, Architect Mary Roline Ara Torrecampo Angeles. Again, a round of applause to our discussant, architect Mary Rolene Ara Torrecampo Angeles. And now let's proceed to the open forum. Let us all welcome our moderator, the Supervising Statistical Specialist of the Industry Statistics Division of the Philippine Statistics Authority, Ms. Joyce B. Igzan. A round of applause, please.
Thank you. Okay, so at this juncture, we will now be opening the floor for questions regarding the construction statistics from approved building permits. So I would like to encourage everyone to participate and make the most of this interactive opportunity. Now, in the interest of time, we can only accommodate about 3 questions. However, additional questions may be sent and answered through email at isj.staff@psa.gov.ph. And also, may I just remind everyone to please state your name before you are going to ask your question. Please state your name, the HUC, or the company you represent before stating your question. And just please kindly raise your hand if you have any questions. So, open na po yung floor. Would there be... Baka po may gustong mag-clarify or may mag-suggest or comments. Ay, si ma'am.
Hello, yeah. I'm architect Veronica Paca, also from the UAP. I observed that the data presented to us, the statistics, are more on the floor area. And I suppose these are supposedly the gross floor area. If I may ask that, is it possible for PSA to also come up with the statistics of the built-up area? Ibig sabihin, can we have a data regarding the footprints? Kasi this will add to the data on planning, development plan, of what is the footprint against the open spaces that we have. Because before we knew it, we have so much already built up area against the open spaces.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your question. The data that we are generating are based on the available information that we get from the administrative forms. So I'm looking at the list of variables that are available from the forms, building permit forms. We can only see total estimated cost, number of units, but not all types of forms are, they have the same kinds of items present, because there are 3 kinds of forms: old form, new form, and the unified. So I can't see that information that you mentioned, ma'am. It's just about total floor area, materials of construction. So unfortunately, there's no information about that from the building permits form, ma'am.
Yeah, but I do guess you do have the information. That's why you have statistics on the floor area basis, because more of the data presented were based on the floor area. Now, it's just that most probably, of course, on the building permit forms, that at least if you have a side development, the footprint, because the footprint area would be different from entirely from the gross floor area. And for us knowing, definitely, the footprint area only against the open spaces on a particular area, we would be able to come up with a more precise information about the area we are talking.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your question. As I mentioned a while ago, we are just basing on what is available in the form. So maybe we can request someone from LBO to respond to the question. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Architect Ed Padilla, City Building Official of Valenzuela. To clarify everything lang, no, ma'am, that's a good point that you want the PSA to provide such data. But however, again, what is required by the forms are limited. One, we only require area, building floor area, because again, the what is being issued by the building official is a building permit. So ibig sabihin, kung ilan lang itatayo mong floor area, yun lang ang pepermitan ko. So nalilimit din yung available data ng PSA kasi nga floor area lang. Siguro ang mas maganda nating bigyan ng linaw din is kaya bang paano madi-differentiate din ng PSA siguro ma'am yung floor area in terms of sa site. Kasi for example, nag-issue kami ng mall, 1,000 square meter. Nag-renovate yung mga tenants. May building permit ulit yon. Kung 1,000 floor area ulit nun, di 2,000 na ang nasa statistics natin na nabigyan ng permit. Pero hindi naman lumaki yung floor area kasi it's the same site, 'di ba? So siguro para mas comprehensive yung data kasi nga hindi naman lumalaki yung area ng city, 'di ba? Pero dahil redundant, 'di ba? Yung area nag-issue tayo ng mall, nagpalis siya, nag-renovate, 'di ba? Nabigyan ulit ng permit, hindi nagdoble yung area, hindi dumami yung area. It's the same site, no? Siguro yun, isang side na pwede natin tignan. Pero in terms of, ma'am, to answer the question on open spaces against I think, medyo limited because, again, building permit yung issue natin. Ano yung ini-issue ng permit? So, ang fee is, the building code, ang basis ng issuance ng building permit, ang pagsingil ng fee is per square meter. So, kung ano nga lang yung tatayuan mo, kahit ang lote natin, 1,000, kung ang tatayuan mo lang 100 square meter, di 100 square meter lang ang mapepermitan natin against the total lot area siguro. Thank you.
Respond to the question. May I just add that in terms of renovation, we don't include the floor area. Wala na pong floor area yon. So if you notice in our presentation, there was a note that in terms of floor area, wala yung sa renovation, para walang duplication. Thank you.
Hello again. Wala naman kasi ma'am renovation permit eh. It's the same as building permit. So yung form na yun, kahit propose, siyempre ilalagay niya propose Jollibee. Ang building permit pa rin yun, pero nasa loob siya ng mall. So, building permit pa rin ang bilang natin. Otherwise, kasi renovation nga, wala naman renovation form eh. Walang renovation permit. Ayun po. Thank you.
In the permit kasi, sir, meron tayong types of construction. So one of them is renovation. So kaya sinabi namin dito na in terms of renovation, when we are now estimating the total floor area, excluded yung sa renovation kasi wala namang floor area yon. So as you mentioned a while ago, it's just the same floor area. So makikita po yun sa form. It's one of the types of construction.
If I may add, my only point lang naman is, I'm just asking or how the PSA can possibly, it's just a suggestion. Kasi parang we wanted to come up with the statistics, di ba? Like for example, if you have a particular site, merong provision doon that at least 20% should remain as open spaces. Now, how can we possibly monitor if this is being done so or being followed? So, when we talk of the footprint, ito po yung area kung saan itinatayo yung particular. For example, you have a 100 square meter and then the built-up is where we construct our structure is, say, 70 square meters. Yun yung built-up. And then, ang suggestion ko lang po is how can PSA not necessarily asking that, of course, I know that from the forms that we have, wala yun, no? But now, I'm just trying to suggest kung if it's possible that we can come up with that para malaman natin, particularly, ano na ba yung natitira na open spaces that we have at ano pa yung built-up area na nagagamit natin. That's my point.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. So again, madali lang pong i-generate yon for as long as nasa form. Kasi if you notice po, ang title natin ng dissemination na ito, Construction Statistics from Approved Building Permits. So maybe our partners from the LBOs could respond if they can include that in the form. Andyan na si ating Executive Director. Hindi na. Pwede pong i-ano pa natin si Sir? So Sir, actually, ikaw ang inaantay naming sasagot sa tanong. If we can include that information in the building permit forms.
Okay. Right. Actually, this is the open forum na portion na yata, no? Open forum portion. So first, my apologies, no? I had to attend to a very personal matter kaninang umaga. Medyo emergency siya, kaya hindi ako nakaalis kaagad. Anyway, yung specific question is ano yung data na kailangan include sa permit or yung sinasuggest?
I was asking attorney. Yeah. I was just asking how can PSA or how can we possibly come up with the statistics on trying to find out on a particular region or area, ano ba yung built-up area na in terms of and then the open space that are available. Kasi, of course, from the data presented, we all talk about the floor area. And I understand that's all gross floor area, diba po?
Yes,
So, yun lang. And I was just trying to suggest how can we possibly come up with this kung this information can be integrated on the forms that we have now.
All right. Thank you for clarifying, ma'am, yung question. Okay. So, I see here mga representatives from various government agencies, no, and from the private sectors. Okay. So, first I'm going to lay down some expectations, no, from the data that we collect in the DPWH regarding the so-called points, no. Of course, the goal here, stated in the request, is to determine yung mga built-up areas, no. So probably the parameters also, the size, percentage, mga ganon, yung characteristics niya, ma'am. Okay. So as of now, this data cannot be found in one single office. Okay. So let's talk first about the specific na information na kailangan ninyo in order to arrive at that particular na data, no. So if you're looking at the built-up area, so I assume that you have some ideas, no, what this means, no, yung built-up areas. So in certain context, no, yung built-up areas natin does not merely refer to the places where there is most development, di ba? So you also have to factor in, for example, yung previous use, yung land area niya na na existing, because as previously mentioned, you will be taking into account the characteristics such as the open space. So when you talk about the so-called built-up areas, yung matutulong lang dyan from the data that's already collected by the building officials, yung doon lang nag-exist office nila is of course the data on the characteristics, physical characteristics of the developments na documented. Okay? So when we say documented, there is already a history or a record of that particular building or structure found in the office, including yung relevant niya na mga physical attributes, no. So for example, yung mga initial niya na characteristics when the permit was applied for, like the building height limit, etc. Yung mga building height, the parking space, of course ina-evaluate yan ng offices of the building official, no, yung mga characteristics for compliance with the relevant development controls. But equally critical, also you need to have data kung ano ba yun in the first place, yung original na land area, di ba? And you also need some characteristics. Ano ba yung use niya na kung saan siya dapat naka-devote, no? Based on the assessors, on the assessor or the local zoning authorities, mga information. So you cannot find all of the information required to determine built-up areas just by determining the characteristics of the building. Okay. So you also need to correlate this with the data from the offices that register the land, no, including yung meets and bounds of the title, and of course the local zoning officers, among other things, no. Kasi the pattern of development here, hindi naman kayang sagutin yan ng building official, di ba? So that's not something that only the building official can answer. So probably what is required here is to cross-reference this with the other information that's available, so that you will have a more complete picture, no, of the lands of the land or the history of the particular properties. So possibly the most basic information that na dapat kukunin dito would be, of course, information relating to the specific parcels of land. So this could be a bit problematic kasi minsan yung treatment natin ng parcels of land would differ depending on your purpose. No? So for example, for building permit purposes, so we tend to check yung mga properties involved. No? Minsan, separate parcels of land siya based on the title, but there's only one big development planned for that one. Okay? So immediately you will see here na it doesn't necessarily correspond na one lot, then you will be able to predict yung pattern ng development. Because like I said, development controls can be variable. No? So for example, if you only have one landowner and you have several parcels of land, pero yung mga development niya, kasi yung mga development plans submitted to other agencies indicate only a single building or the like. No? It does not necessarily capture all the information that you need to determine whether that is a built-up area. So what we can do in order to make that clear, insofar yung sa records held by the building officials, would be to provide perhaps an accurate, let's just say, yung mga review processes internally, lines and grades, yung kung saan makikita yung mga floor plans and the building footprint. Probably you need to go directly there in order to check, and as well as the previous permits. Now, this does not necessarily mean if you have a permit that's already the whole thing about the history of the buildings. As you know, buildings can accumulate various permits and certificates during their lifetimes. So baka nag-change yung character niya. In fact, a building that was once the subject of a permit, baka na-demolish na, napalitan na ng bago. So very important thing here also is all of these mga changes to the character of the property are documented. So ibig sabihin, you also have to check yung other records ng ating building official, probably also the assessors, to check yung pinaka-latest na data dito. Baka kasi maraming mga structures dito, nag-i-exist siya, but there is no documentation whether that exists. So in a nutshell, ma'am, what we can do, if you want that to be reflected in the application forms or in the data found in the offices of the building official, partially we can provide that, but in order to get a full and comprehensive picture of the where these developed areas are, ano yung pattern of development, we are going to need to cross-reference this with the data from other places. Probably that's difficult kung manually ginagawa yan, and then you only have a limited number of people to look. So yung isang suggestion that I've frequently heard would be to use artificial intelligence. Yun yung sabi nila para madaling ma-correlate yung mga data sets. We're talking here not merely about mga paisa-isa na mga properties, but a lot of relevant information. So I guess na medyo maliit lang yung mako-contribute ko dito, kasi yung sphere ng influence naman ng building regulations only pertain to the standards applicable to the buildings. So wala kaming impact yung regulators for buildings. We don't have a direct impact on the planned use for the lot. So probably ang tatanungin niya dito will be the local government, particularly the zoning authority, the sanggunian, because they are the ones who set the policy kung saan i-devote yung land pagdating doon, and they can actually to some extent influence the future development. So yung kaya naming sagutin na tanong dito, I mean for some clarity, when you say what kinds of developments would be allowed there in the future, ang makakasagot po niyan would be probably the DSUD or the local zoning authority. So if that's the question, what kind of developments would be allowed there in the future, But if the question there is now that you've determined what will exist on that lot, or what can exist on that lot, what will be its characteristics and attributes? Kaya naming sagutin yan, Or what is currently allowed on that lot? Ano ba yung pinaka-maximum na height allowed on that lot, and the other relevant characteristics? That is something we can directly address. So yun po, ma'am, yun po yung currently yung the best that we can do in respect to assisting kung saan ba yung mga patterns of development and the yung mga what do you call that, yung mga na area, built up areas. Other questions po?
Actually, thank you very much, Attorney John. So actually, this we will be now ending the the open forum. So thank you very much. Po.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Joyce. And now let's proceed to the awarding of plaque of recognition to our discussant, Attorney John Alexander S. Belderol, Executive Director of the National Building Code Development Office of DPWH. May we request DNS Grace, ANS Rachel, and RD Nodi to award the plaque of recognition and token of appreciation to Attorney Belderol. Sir. Again, a round of applause to our discussant, Attorney Belderol. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I know that we are all excited to move on to a very special part of our program to acknowledge and give recognition to our active partners who provided us with accurate and timely data from approved building permits. Without your cooperation and support, we cannot produce the information we provide to our policymakers. Criteria used in determining the awardees are: first, we have the timeliness and submission. We have completeness of data quality and consistency, and cooperation and accessibility. Now, may we call on DNS Grace, ANS Rachel, and Sir Nodi to award the plaque of recognition to our awardees. Ladies and gentlemen, our first awardee is the City of Caloocan. To receive the award, may we request Ms. Jeremy Garbosa. The city of Caloocan is the fourth most populous city in the Philippines with a population of 1,712,945 based from the 2024 Census of Population. Congratulations to our awardee, City of Caloocan. Our second awardee is the City of Manila. To receive the award, may we request Mr. Charleston Guarino. Manila is the second most populous city of the Philippines, located on the eastern shore of Manila Bay and on the western coast of Luzon. Congratulations to our second awardee, the City of Manila. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's proceed to our third awardee, the City of Parañaque. May we request, to receive the award, we have Miss Jamela Apolinario. Our fourth awardee is Quezon City. To receive the award, may we request Miss Myla Biason. And our last but definitely not the least awardee is the City of Taguig. Again, congratulations to our winners. Thank you very much, DNS Grace, ANS Rachel, and RD Nodi. And to formally close our program, may I invite here on stage the Regional Director of PSA NCR, RD Pasiano Dizon. A round of applause, please.
Thank you, Jordan. So, Hasek Grace, ANS Rachel, Engineer Manuel, Attorney John, of course, Architect Torre Campo Angeles. Sa inyo po lahat, magandang tanghali. Ito po ang pinakamahirap sa lahat, yung closing. Tapos, andyan na yung food, no? Usually sa closing, dalawang bagay lang. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. And then yung second part, please continue, let us continue to strengthen our partnership. Yun lang naman, di ba? Let us continue to strengthen our collaboration. Yun lang naman sa closing, di ba? Meron pa ba? Congratulations to the winners. Pero gusto ko mag-deviate eh. Gusto ko magkwento. Biblical. Si Lazaro, kilala niyo si Lazaro? Yung, in all the parables of Jesus Christ, si Lazaro lang ang binigyan niya ng pangalan. The other, Samaritan woman, the rich man, the merciful father, the prodigal child, lahat yan, wala. Siya lang. Si Lazaro, sabi sa Bible, mahirap. Andun siya sa mesa ng isang mayaman, kumakain. Ang kinakain niya yung mga nahuhulog. Naalala niyo ba yung yun? Yung parable na yun? Hindi. Namatay si Lazaro, namatay yung rich man. Yung rich man napunta sa impyerno. Si Lazaro napunta sa langit. Medyo nare-recall na ninyo. Ha? Okay. And then, nauuhaw yung rich man sa impyerno. Ang sabi niya, pwede bang padala mo si Lazaro dito to dip his finger into the water para matikman ko man lang, mapawi yung aking uhaw. Ang sabi, hindi pwede. Bakit? Dahil sa pagitan ng langit at impyerno ay isang malaking bangin. Yung nasa langit, hindi makakapunta sa impyerno. At yung impyerno, hindi makakapunta sa langit. Pero, since maawain si Lazaro at si San Pedro, gusto rin ni Taning, ni Satanas, na may pumunta sa langit mula sa impyerno. Kinausap ngayon niya si San Pedro, si Taning. Sabi ni San Pedro, sabi ni Taning, San Pedro, baka pwedeng gumawa tayo ng tulay para yung bangin na yon, yung mga taga-langit makapunta sa impyerno at yung mga taga-impyerno makapunta sa langit. Good idea. Sabi ni San Pedro, okay. Sabi ni Taning, mula impyerno hanggang kalahati ng bangin, kami ang gagawa. Mula langit hanggang dun sa kalahati ng bangin, kayo ang gagawa. Okay, sabi ni San Pedro, 1 month. Okay, 1 month. E di 1 month lumipas. Before the 1 month, aba yung impyerno hanggang sa gitna ng bangin, tapos na. Yung tulay mula langit hanggang dun sa gitna ng bangin na magmimit, wala pa. 1 month, sabi ni Taning, San Pedro, ano nangyari? 1 month na, nagawa na namin ang tulay. Asan yung tulay nyo mula langit hanggang gitna ng bangin? Sabi ni San Pedro, pasensya na ha. Kasi, yung contractor nasa inyo eh. What am I trying to say? As public employees, as public officials, as Filipino people, let us always do what is good, what is right, and what is honorable. Whatever we do in life echoes in eternity. Lahat po ng ginagawa natin, umaalingaw-ngaw, magpakailanman. Let us choose to do good. Magandang tanghali po.
Okay, thank you very much, Sir Nodi. And before we end, a gentle reminder for our participants to please accomplish the evaluation form and submit to our secretariat. Yeah, apo. Kindly submit na lang po sa secretariat sa labas ng function room po natin. And we would like to thank everyone for your active participation and see you in our next events. While having our lunch, we will be serenaded by Miss Razel May C. Dizon. Again, thank you very much, everyone, and have a great lunch.